Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome back to Dangerous Freedom. I'm, as always, joined by my wonderful co host, Moose Man. You may know him, you should love him.
Hey, everybody.
And this is where we come on here. We kind of talk about some of the headlines going on and give our opinions on them and
Shoot
go
the
from there.
shit.
Shoot the shit, yes. So, how's your
Hello.
week?
Hello, Huckleberry. Good to see you.
What's up, Huckleberry?
Yeah. My weekend's been kind of up and down. I haven't slept good. Still, I got off the pain medication, so I've been sleeping oddball hours. I've been doing some ammunition reloading for friends that can't find hunting ammunition. We're in the last stages of
You're,
rifle season here in Oklahoma, and people can't find ammo to go hunting with. So I've been helping a few people out with some of my ammo and then reloading a bunch for myself. So, but we're
good for
still
you.
kicking. We're
Hey,
doing best we
Militant,
can.
best life. Good to see you, Garrett.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Garrett,
What's up, Daniel?
Daniel, bro,
What's up, Kingpin? Good to see you.
oh reliable, best life, militant roots. Good to see you guys.
Gun
See,
loving grandpa. Hi, see.
yep. And I see it did snow in Hawaii, and everybody says, "Oh, Hart did it." Garrett will love that. But,
Yeah, dude. I couldn't believe that. Navy vet said something about that last night. They were expecting a blizzard in Hawaii, and I'm like, what?
well, they get snow on the mountains up there every year. It's over 10,000 feet. It's just because it's out there in the middle of the Pacific don't stop it from snowing on a tall mountain. So, but
Hey,
yeah, blame
Christina.
it on Harp. Just blame it on Harp. Everything's
Yeah,
on Harp,
dude, you
Ron.
know Garrett will.
Yeah, I know.
So on to some news. You saw what they did with the bump stocks, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was an 8-8 tie split in the court, so they sent it
And it,
back to the lower court. Now, Gun Owners of America is going to have to try and get it before the Supreme Court.
yeah.
Uh, that just shows 8 smart judges and 8 dumbasses.
But then again, why do they put an oddball or an even number of judges on the freaking panel in the first place? They should always be off by one.
Well, that's what they call an en banc decision, and they got 16 judges evidently, and 8 of them wouldn't know a bump stock from the bump and grind.
Hey, what's up, Ron? Yeah, Garrett, don't worry. We were going to get around to that. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends. I've got all kinds of headlines.
Hey, Joe, good to see you.
What's up,
Ron
Joe?
Stryker. Yeah. Oh, reliable.
Actually, it is night out here. It is dark out here.
Yep. It gets me now. It gets dark early here. It's about 5:15, 5:30. It's dark.
Yeah. Oh, reliable. We'll get around to that here in a minute, too.
Yeah.
What's up, 12B? 5 p.m. there, 6 p.m. here.
Yeah. 7 p.m. here in Oklahoma.
So you heard that DeSantis wants to start his own Florida state military guard to protect their borders and their boundaries. I think that's a pretty good idea. I mean, Texas has had their own military for God, forever, right?
Well, they've got the Texas Air Force, and they've got like, I don't know if the Texas National Guard is the same as the regular National Guard, but um, Texans are a little different. So
Yeah, militant. That daylight savings kind of messes with all of us.
yeah,
What's
I'm
up,
too
Neil?
old to join. If Oklahoma starts one, I'm probably too old to join, but I'll be glad to help support them, being an armorer for them.
Well, there you go. Neo out there in the chat said if they do, he'll join.
Yeah.
What's up, Dave K? Yeah,
I
I've
know what to
got.
get Garrett for Christmas. A big roll of tinfoil.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. You should be able to
Got
make
you,
a few.
Garrett. Got you, Garrett.
Wow, 450 a piece. 30 round. Oh, the steel
Is
ones.
that is that company legit though? There's a lot of companies now that sprung up all of a sudden that you send the money to and you never get your shit, or they hit your credit card.
So, okay, I noticed. I know somebody wanted us to discuss about this shooter up in Michigan.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Let me say something here to Old Reliable real quick. Like they're Old Reliable, the state of Alaska has a militia group. I actually had the general at my house drinking beer with him, and the colonel. It's called the Alaska State Militia Force, and it's a great bunch of guys. And back during some terror alerts and stuff, they guarded the pipeline, they guarded the terminal down in Valdez, and I was support for them in communications. And we actually, it's never made the news, but we caught a group of foreigners, not sure exactly where they were from, of Muslim descent, that were loading up explosives on a snow machine up near Fairbanks to go blow up the Alaska pipeline. And
wow.
we got them. They hushed it up. They hushed it up, but it happened. So, but yeah, Alaska has a state militia. They're friends of mine.
Yeah, militant. I'll be curious. 450 is a good price. I mean, I'm used to paying about usually around $9 to $10 for them for the old GI ones. But
Yeah,
yeah,
CDNN's got the Korean 30 rounders for $8.99 right now to steal with the good followers, the new white colored followers that work. Okay.
all right. So from what I've gathered from reports is apparently the parents, after they knew that they were going to get charged, tried to hide, even though they came out after they'd been caught, said no, we weren't trying to hide. We went to visit our friend, and um, whatever. And it's
In a
like, okay,
basement in Detroit.
exactly, in a basement in Detroit, you just withdrew $4,000 from your account, and yeah, you're not trying to hide. Okay, so
Yeah.
anyhow, um, they're
I
actually
saw that.
they're actually talking about trying to find some kind of charge for the guy that helped them out, the guy's basement they stayed in, or something like that.
I saw that they withdrew $4,000 and took off. They were caught in a basement after an intensive search. They found their car abandoned nearby in Detroit, of all places. Uh, the judge has ordered $500,000 cash bond, and if they do get bonded out, they have to wear GPS locator
Yep.
bracelets and submit to I guess weekly or daily, maybe even drug tests or something. And that's what got me is that maybe they have a history of drug abuse or something, because that's not something you normally would get ordered in a case like this to have drug tests. So, but
Yeah.
$500,000 to get out of jail, they may be in there for a while.
Yeah, Militant. We're talking about the shooter's parents. And then apparently, I guess him and his dad had gone to the gun shop a few days prior where he purchased it. And then there was another one where I guess him and the mom were at the range and they were testing out the new firearm. But from what I understand, apparently during the video, um, he was talking about, "Hey, yeah, check this out. This is my new pew pew."
And they did have a text from his mom telling him don't do it at the school, I guess.
Yeah.
There was some communications between the kid and his mom.
Well, at some
So,
point, one of the teachers actually saw something that he was drawing, something about shooting other kids or something like that. Why didn't that teacher do something right then and there? You know what I mean? Just yeah, there's they're trying to lay the blame on the boy and on the parents, and well, at least they're not talking about the gun as much as they usually do.
yeah,
It was the
that's
gun's
it.
fault. No, in this case, it was the kid's fault,
The
possibly the
amazing,
family's fault.
the amazing thing is they had a deputy sheriff assigned to that school, and he didn't run and hide. My hat goes off to him. They responded, and they had the kid in custody within 5 minutes of the first shot and the first 911 call. He was in custody in 5 minutes. It wasn't like them chicken shits down at Parkland in Florida. The deputy went and he was actually the school deputy that handcuffed him and took him down with the help of other officers, but he was already on it. So, good job there, deputy, and keep our schools safe as you can. It's just our heart does go out to the families about the wounded and the killed. Um, we as gun owners hate these kind of tragedies. We hate them. We're not about that.
Yep.
And I hope he gets the full penalty of the law. And the parents involved, they get it too.
Yeah, militant. Yeah, concealed carry teacher. I think that's a good idea too. I don't have an issue with that. Some people do, but they're also the same people that are afraid of guns because they've never used one and they don't understand, that it's just another tool. It really is, but it's a defensive tool or an offensive tool, depending on how you want to use it. But at the same time, if somebody starts the attack, you want to be able to have something to match them. Granted, a 9 millimeter against an AR ain't quite a fair fight, but at the same time, depends on who's the better shot, who has more practice with it, who's a better aim. Joe Morgan start with this. politicians, right?
Yep.
Let's see. Covered that one. Oh yeah, that's another thing I've almost forgot. Apparently, the teacher was upset by what they had seen and sent him to the counselor, and he took his backpack with him, which had the gun in it, and they never checked his bag. You know, they just, I mean, how did that one slip by him? To think, no, we don't need to check his backpack.
Yep.
But Aaron, did y'all see the freaking over machine gun Christmas picture? No, I don't. I have not seen that picture, Aaron. I don't know what you're talking about there. Let's see here. Oh,
You know what really gets me is I'm old as dirt, and we didn't have school shootings back when I was
nope.
in school. Even during segregation, I mean, when we had integration, when they did away with segregation and we had integration. I mean, yeah, we had some smart ass kids that bring some Civil War swords shoved down their pants and stuff, silly stuff like that. But nobody brought guns to school. Nobody. I mean, we brought them for show and tell and stuff years ago, and put them in the corner, unloaded. We had the 22 ammunition in our pocket or whatever to hunt on the way home, and we didn't have school shootings we didn't, they weren't gun free school zones. Our teachers had guns in their vehicles. Our high school seniors had guns in their pickup trucks and stuff. I mean,
Yep.
everybody, we had trap shooters. A lot of us were in the FFA. We were hunters. We did target practice. We didn't have all these school shootings, and then they come along with all these gun-free school zones and background check. And what they've done is, by thinking they're made advancements, they have actually put the thrill of guns into the minds of children that, hey, this has got to be something. And of course, our parents taught us better. They taught us that we can't recall a bullet once it's fired, so you best know where that bullet's going and you own that
Mm-hmm.
bullet. But we also were taught to respect life. And if you shot it, you ate it. So,
So
oh,
I don't know if y'all caught that Alec Baldwin interview that they did the other day. Boy, what a fluff piece that was, man. Good grief.
man, my friends had a discussion that on my chat room channel, and they have the same gun that Alex Baldwin used, and we tested it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no freaking way the gun will fire without the hammer being fully cocked, and because it rotates the cylinder after you come off the first cock notch, which is like a safety,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got a safety bar in it and all that, and it's got three or
Yep.
four clicks, and the cylinder rotates. So if he even just thumbed it a little bit and tried to let it go, it's not going to fire for one thing because and the bullet in the cylinder is going to be out of alignment. It's not going to happen.
Buffering.
And and the only other way it can happen is if you had held the trigger, push the hammer forward and then hit the back of the hammer with another hammer to drive it, the firing pin, into the round to fire it. That's the only two ways. You either got to use the trigger or you'd have to knock the hammer with a hammer or a block of wood or something to get it to fire with your finger on the trigger. So, Alec Baldwin, stop lying, dude. You cocked it, you fired it. End of story.
I agree. Yeah, he is the guilty party on that one. He should have known. He should have known better. I mean, the fact that he was out there playing around with not even a prop gun. You know, prop guns, from what I understand, really don't even fire.
And if it was a rehearsal, why would you even cock the gun and squeeze the trigger? It was a rehearsal for a shot. You could have pulled the gun up and went bang. No, there's something else. Something stinks here, and I ain't quite figured it out yet. I don't subscribe to conspiracy theories very often, but in this case, something stinks. And I don't know about
Daniel. Daniel said the same thing out in the chat. Yeah, that's true. Yes, Daniel, I did hear about that. She was about ready to do another video cinematography thing on.
Baldwin says he feels very good. He could have been squeezing the trigger and pull the hammer back and let it go and it would fire, but he had his finger on the trigger. You got to move it on the bang switch.
And and that doesn't. Now, see, I haven't seen the whole interview. I'm only going from bits and pieces that different news medias have picked up on, and it's like he started off saying, "Well, I didn't pull the trigger though." And then later in the interview, it was in his holster. He had to pull it out, cock it, and then fire it.
Right.
And it's like, well, wait a second. Now your story just fucking changed, dude.
Okay. Even your old Colt 1873, cowboy guns and set up for cowboy action, you had to have the trigger squeezed in order to bring it and fan it, because as the hammer comes back, it rotates the cylinder, and then when it gets all the way back and the hammer is cocked on a Colt, the cylinder lock comes up and locks the cylinder into place. That's where you can check it for tightness.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like you said,
but the trigger has to be
the half cock safety.
Right. On full cock, though, the trigger has to be squeezed.
You can flip open your little window, or I don't know what they call that.
Yeah, and the loading gate.
Loading gate. Yeah.
On the second notch, first or second notch, depending on the gun, you can flip open the loading gate, rotate the cylinder, and dump the bullets out or load fresh ammo in. And after that, though, you have to either bring it back and fully cock it and let the hammer down, or leave it as is. But you rotate the cylinder, it locks up with the cylinder lock, and then when you squeeze the trigger, that bullet is aligned with the barrel. Otherwise, you can blow up the gun if it wasn't, or it wouldn't fire. I have seen it get off a little bit, but anyway. Yeah, Alec Baldwin, don't try that bullshit on us.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's number one rule. Treat every gun as if it's loaded, and he forgot that rule, or just didn't care.
Now, what's interesting is when I was a kid, we went to Arizona and California, and we went to Tombstone, where they put on the cowboy shows, shooting each other. All right, I was a kid.
Yeah.
And when the show was over and the cowboy got up, you know, and they're all shaking hands and talking with the crowd and everything. One of the cowboys opened his Colt revolver and he dumped out the blanks. And he gave me, as a kid, one of the blanks that they used. They were a plastic 45 caliber round that had, like, they had a primer and a powder charge of black powder, and then the end was rounded and closed. So when they fired it, it opened up like a shotgun shell. There was
Okay.
no water, nothing in there. They were completely safe. Uh, and I had that. I don't know whatever happened to that, but that was my little souvenir. It was just a little black blank that they had for their Colt peacemakers. And why they aren't using that type of blank is beyond me. They used them back then just fine, you know. If
I
it's
don't know,
real,
man. I mean,
shoot that thing.
even those, granted, can be dangerous, especially point blank. But man, if you're 5, 10 feet away, you're pretty safe. You know what I mean?
Well, even your military blanks have a piece of cardboard, or some of them have a little wax thing that will hurt you. But these were
Hmm.
just crimped over nothing. In other words, with just a powder charge
Yeah,
with
they
black
just
powder,
pop open,
it made a big enough boom and a puff of smoke
like you
that it
said,
was
just like a shotgun shell.
yeah, it was simunition is what, like Aaron calls it, simulated. But there are blanks that will kill you. They've got a wad.
Let's see what else we got in the headlines here.
Yeah, yeah. Jerry Mikulik lives not far from me. Actually, he lives down in northern Louisiana, and Clark Customs Guns is down there too. We used to drive by their place on the way to Ruston to go do our bench rest 22 competition.
Yeah. The whatever, Maxwell trial is now catnip for QAnon. Jeez.
Fucked up State Farm agents. Oh yeah, Biaxo. That we were talking about that PF group that's out there with their shields just standing around. They're not chanting anything. They come in by U-Haul truck. Everybody thinks they're feds maybe, but their website shows them to be not white supremacists, but something else they call them anyway. But they're not chanting anything. They're just standing around with their shields. And they went to Washington D.C. first, and then the U-Hauls picked them up and brought them back over to Virginia. And then one U-Haul took off with half of them, and the other half was just standing around with the cops, watching them doing nothing, waiting on their U-Haul, I guess. So
Hmm.
yeah. Oh, and Joe Morgan, Jiz Lane. Yeah, that's how you pronounce your name, Jiz Lane.
What's up, Yoxo? Good to see you.
Girl like that, I could come up with a lot of pickup lines for, but I won't go there.
Really, only ones there are media and cops.
And hey, Biaxo, T96, Ronnie Braun,
Jeff,
good to see you guys. Jeff Thornburg, Dave K, all you people that have come in, Neo, good to see you guys tonight. Thanks for showing up and supporting Ron's stream here. We
all right.
appreciate it very much.
I was thinking we could probably talk about this Manhattan knife attacker. I don't know if you heard about that or not.
I didn't
Killed
hear that
one,
one.
killed one, stabbed another one, and tried to stab another one after that, if I recall correctly. Let me see. I got the article pulled up here.
Yeah, didn't hear about knives. I try to concentrate on the gun stuff more than the knives.
Well, you got to focus on everything. They're using cars,
Yeah,
trucks, SUVs, knives,
yeah.
shovels. Um, all right, Manhattan knife attack kills Columbia University student and injures a tourist. Police arrested a suspect later that night while he was allegedly threatening an individual with a knife in Central Park.
A homeless man accused of killing a 14-year-old in South Florida.
Wow. A pair of seemingly random, unprovoked stabbings has left Columbia University student dead and a tourist in Manhattan injured. The student, identified as David Geary, 30, was stabbed in the stomach just before 11. He was pronounced dead at Mount Sinai Hospital. All right, how do I continue
After the
reading?
surgeries I've been through, I'd rather be shot than stabbed. I'll be honest with you.
Oh. What's up, Doc?
Yeah, hey Doc.
But you notice we don't hear anything more about that guy that plowed through that Christmas parade. Boy, they
Oh,
can't. They're
he's facing. They upped his counts, I guess, because another one died. So
another one.
what really pisses me off is CNN trying to color him white, altering the photo of him to try and lighten it up to make him look like a white guy. CNN has no shame. And bye bye, Chris Cuomo. Thank God you're gone.
Yeah.
Next.
Don Lemon. That's a good one. Get rid of him.
Yeah, Lemonhead.
You could just go down the list.
He's guilty. He's been sexually harassing other guys in CNN. I can't believe he's not gone yet. I heard what he did. It was nasty.
Hey, what's up there? Oh, Lemonhead is next. Yeah, they need to get all those race baiting people off of there. I mean, and it's not just CNN. I mean, you go on if you ever watch The View, man, oh, good grief, what a liberal pile of crap that those people are. I mean, I've seen people get up and walk off because they couldn't, they just weren't going to deal with it. When somebody's mind is made up, you're not going to be able to change it. And
Yep.
no matter how many facts and all the proof you bring with you, they're not going to see it because they're stuck in that liberal way. What's up, oddball?
Yeah, Neo. I don't know. I don't have much thoughts on that Oklahoma death row case that was pardoned. There's that was done a long time ago, and when they found that guy guilty, and I don't know that there was really enough evidence back then really to convict the guy, but because he got convicted, uh, a lot of people feel like it wasn't there was possibility that he was innocent. So from the little tidbits I got of it, but if he's guilty, at least if he's not going to death row, at least he's going to be spending his life in prison. And every day that he's alive, if he did it, he has to live with his crime. Now, if he didn't do it, then that's a whole nother subject. There's a lot of
Hey,
people.
Terry. Hey, Jeremy. Good to see you, brother.
Hello, Terry.
By the way, your stuff should have been sent out either yesterday or this morning. So, Vivo, what's up? Oh, yeah, the blizzard in Hawaii. Let's see here.
Now, if you all remember old Timothy McVeigh that did the bombing in Oklahoma City, they fast tracked him to the death penalty real quick.
Oh, yeah.
They put him on the express train.
Yeah, see, do you really want a corrupt government giving out the death penalty to people? And it's
Right.
not just government in this case, it's the DOJ.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of places where they've got liberal judges, liberal DAs, and dude, I'm sure they put a lot of people that don't really deserve it behind bars because
Yeah.
their ideology doesn't match up with, with the judge's ideology.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Maxwell case, I don't know. That one's kind
A
of,
lot of names are coming out.
well, I'm sure they are.
Yeah. And have you noticed all these CEOs resigning or getting terminated from all these big companies that may have been on the list or are on the list? Yeah, we talked about the snow in Hawaii. Snow is natural in Hawaii. It happens up on top of the mountains there all the time. So it's not hard. It's not actually, to me, it's snow down farther means it's not global warming or climate change. It's
Yeah, no
global
doubt, right?
cooling. Right. And like I've always maintained, if global warming was true and the oceans are going to rise, why the hell did Al Gore buy a mansion on a beach in Hawaii if he was expecting it to be underwater within the next few years? Bullshit. I'll wave the BS flag on that son of a bitch every time I get a chance. It's all about money.
Oh crap! I'm just Patrick Lee McVeigh was a I don't know if he was a psyop as much as I think he was radicalized. You know, he was pissed at the government, but he didn't know how to retaliate. Probably, you know, somebody told him, well, you could blow up this building if you want, but
Well, it was him and his, what was it, his cousin or something, or that they were mad about the Waco.
yeah, the Waco, yeah, that's how it started. They were pissed about the Waco
Right, about
situation.
all those women and children being killed. And as I recall, Clinton was president that, so basically they got Arkansided.
Hmm. Aaron, I know people that went to school with him. He was a moron. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, McVeigh was an Army veteran.
I don't know. That was so long ago, Neil.
Come on, Kitty, this is my broadcast. No, Kitty, this is my
Yeah.
broadcast. No,
No
Kitty,
kitty, bad kitty.
no, Kitty, that's my broadcast. Ah.
Daniel, your rolling cigarette sounds like you're loading shells into your shotgun.
Yeah. He's a black cat with a little white tuft on him. When I got him, he looked like a grizzly bear, a Toklat grizzly bear, so I named him Toklat. He had the dark face and the light colored fur, kind of goldish, silvery colored, looked just like a little grizzly bear. And I've got him, he was a rescue, so I got him and got him home. And 6 weeks later, he turned solid black. It's like my grizzly bear turned into a black bear.
Yeah, Mayor Ruby Ridge was another one too.
Yeah. Actually, one of the Weaver's relatives lived not far from me up in Alaska. A brother.
Aaron, yeah, they wanted to show off their new toys. I don't know. I'm not going down that conspiracy road. I don't have my tinfoil hat ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, I understand the Ruby Ridge story. Yeah, yeah, and dude, a lot, and that's crazy, man. The FBI is just so out of control anymore. I mean, spying on citizens is bad enough, but yeah, just their overall behavior is unconstitutional, and same with ATF. You know,
They've been politicized now, and that's the biggest problem of all of it. Instead of remaining a law enforcement agency, when your higher ups are all political pansies, basically, and little puppets for the upper echelon swamp dwellers, this is what you get.
yeah.
Your gypsy girlfriend give you that cat? No, I got it at a rescue. Oh, one thing that did happen this week, everybody ought to be damn happy about, is they shot down the universal background check
Yes,
across
yes, I
the
saw that.
United States. We we jumped on that. I mean, we started emailing senators and representatives and everything else. They tried to slip in universal background checks, which means that citizens could not sell a gun to another citizen without going through an FFL dealer and paying extra money and background checks and all that bullshit. So we defeated that so far this week. Yeah, thank God is right.
Yeah, I saw that one guy. He actually right after that Michigan shooting, one of the Democrat senators or congressmen, no senator, tried to get up there and do like a, a unanimous decision, and Tom Grassley got up there and opposed him. And it's like, man, you guys have been trying to put this, this universal background thing in place forever. Look, nothing would have changed had they had universal background checks. The shooting still would have happened, and so it got denied. But
Because a universal background check would mean a national gun registry,
registry,
which a national gun registry is unconstitutional, illegal. There's already laws that cover that on the books. The same now as we have a law that says they can't confiscate your guns during national emergencies and stuff like that. So,
even though they do that as well too.
well, that all we got that law passed after Katrina and them out of control New Orleans cops were going around confiscating guns. But the cops were stealing shit too, so they
Yeah,
weren't very
true.
good cops. They weren't
Uh,
very good cops. They were crooked cops,
well, I
and I'll
mean,
call them crooked cops.
dude, you got the good and the bad with any group, any entity like that. There are good cops out there, absolutely there are, but you know, with the rate of bad cops that we're seeing lately, it really makes you stop and wonder. It's like, well, if the good cops are really doing their job, wouldn't they be catching more of these bad cops?
The
Doing
problem,
bad
the
things.
problem with the problem with that, Ron, is your good cops are your lower guys. Your bad cops are your upper guys.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's a hard situation to actually deal with. I mean, uh, because you actually a police officer, and I was in a small department, but in these larger departments where you've got 50, 100, 150 officers in these bigger cities and stuff, you really don't know who the hell to trust. Uh, and you've got the headhunters there with your internal affairs, and you don't even know if you can trust them guys because they've been there so long to get to that position. You just don't know. And like I said, I saw corruption in Florida with our sheriff down there years ago was being paid off by the drug dealers. His own undersheriff was bringing drugs in. So there is corruption. I'll make the bones about it in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
these bigger agencies. Daniel, you're right. Most of these kid shooters and stuff have been on these antipsychotic drugs.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Like I said, man, I don't have enough info on this Michigan shooting other than the little bits that are coming in, but as I get more info, we'll get more down to the nitty gritty of what really happened there. Were the
Well,
parents involuntarily involved? Well, I don't know, man. That's really not my decision. I can give my opinion, but ultimately it comes down to the jury. I just hope that even if they are found guilty, it doesn't start like a new precedent where it's like, okay, well, now any gun owner that doesn't have their guns locked up in a safe to where their kids can't access it is now going to be held liable for whatever happens. That's not right.
the good thing nowadays for people is we do have recording cell phone video cameras every freaking where.
Yeah.
So if you see a police officer violating the law, get it on film. And you don't necessarily have to take it to the police department. Take it to your local media and let them take a look at it. I mean, but at the same time, there's good cops out there that are just trying to do their job and get by and want to go home at night. So not every cop is bad. Just I'm not going to say that they are, but in these bigger cities, you've got way more corruption chances for them than you do
Oh
your
yeah.
small town cops
Yep.
that are just trying to keep their little community safe and uphold the law. So
Hey, what's up, Stan? Hi. Mm, shoot. I don't know what's going on. Must have got the unicorn variant. My nose is running. Or maybe I'm just catching a cold. I don't freaking know.
I've had the same thing this afternoon. The weather kind of changed. I was out early this morning watching for deer. I had a buck and three does in my backyard just before daybreak. I saw on security camera, and then I went out and looked, and right at daybreak they hauled butt and went to the deep woods next door and disappeared. And been pretty quiet around. And Red thinks he saw a bobcat in the backyard. I've been trying to watch for him.
Hmm. Yeah, you don't want a bobcat running around.
No,
Are you allowed to shoot those out there, or do you have to call animal control?
we shoot, shovel, and shut up.
Gotcha. What people don't know ain't gonna hurt.
Right. And it's hunting season right now, though, too. So,
Damn, Jeff. Ron, you've been sniffling and sneezing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind, folks, they're going to keep throwing out new variants, try and keep everybody afraid. I mean, that's all the government has right now is to try and keep everybody afraid. But there's nothing to be afraid of, not really. I mean, even the original one that came out was not all that deadly. I mean, granted, people were dying. I'm not going to say it wasn't a real virus, but I will also say that it was not near as deadly as the government fearmongered it was. And from all accounts that I could tell, I guess this new one is about the same thing or less. So,
Well, the thing is, and we're not really supposed to up and damn quick button. Uh, it's the people that have had the jab is where the virus is mutating into these other variants. It's not the people that haven't had it.
yeah, Ron, it's all about control. They use fear to try and control the population. They use they use racism to, and like seriously, growing up, racism wasn't even a thing back then. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like I had black friends, Mexican friends, everything growing up, and there was no racism involved ever. And but now, geez, just yeah, our media needs to go the way of the dodo, jump off a cliff and be gone.
You just got to remember everything you see on TV, you're looking through a camera lens, and
Mm-hmm.
how much of it is scripted, how much of it is green screen, like Ron has in his background, how much of it is computer animation, how much of it is bullshit. That's the way I look at it.
Yes, Patrick Lee. Actually, the term is when the government fears the people, we have liberty. But yes, and then when the people fear the government, we have tyranny, and that's what they want, man. Is what they want in their little capital up there, which is why Ron DeSantis is talking about starting his own military, just for Florida. And I think it's a pretty good idea. I'll be honest. I think all states should have their own military just in case. But then again, you're going to have some states that are going to try and weed out all the, conservative and patriotic minded people and just put in liberals who just want like a sex change or something. And
Yep.
then you're going to have other states that liberals, it's like you can apply, but if you can't cut the mustard, then forget it.
Yeah. Oh, and I see ATF raided a guns shop distributor, whatever, down in San Diego, California, because one of his new employees built an 80%, I believe it was a Glock, and then sold it to an undercover agent, but
Hmm.
it wasn't had nothing to do with the gun store owner or whatever, and they went in and seized and arrested the owner, seized $90,000 in cash from his home, seized some guns, and seized all his computer records
What's
for
up,
something
Brightwood?
that his a temporary new employee did that had nothing to do with this guy's business. So I don't know what all's going on with that, but that's just pure crazy.
Yeah, Bebo, unfortunately, you brought up a really good point there. Yeah, until we become a Christian nation again, we'll continue to go down this path.
Well, we have plenty of Christians. We've just got Satan in charge of the governments. I mean, that's in the
Yeah.
Bible. Like I said, we mentioned that before. Satan offered Jesus all the kingdoms of the earth if he'd bow down and pay homage to him and worship him. Well, Satan couldn't offer what he didn't have, so it just proved that Satan is in control of all the kingdoms of the earth. And that's why we have such a corrupt, filthy, perverted swamp of governments all across this planet. Uh, but we Christians are still out here. We keep our
Oh yeah.
faith strong. Jesus
Yes,
will
we
come
do.
back and Jesus will come back and destroy the evil and the wicked and all the false religions of Babylon the Great. And I don't know if I'll live long enough to see it, but I'd like to hope I do.
Joe Morgan, but for people like me that aren't religious, freedom should still. Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with that, Joe Morgan, and that's the whole beauty about freedom. That's why I went with dangerous freedom because freedom is a dangerous thing. I mean, if you want peace, if you want peace, you should plan for war. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's like we've gotten out of God's good graces, and whether you believe in Him or not, or whatever you believe or not, still you either know the difference between right and wrong, or you don't. And the ones that know the difference between right and wrong and still do the wrong thing are what I would call evil or demons, or you know, and that's where we're getting in this nation. It sucks, but it's there. Oh, I like that statement. Freedom is for everyone that's willing to fight for it. That's a good quote right there. Did you just make that up, Joe? I like that.
And I keep hearing all these people talking about gun control, especially like foreigners and stuff like that. The next time I hear it, I'm going to ask them one question. Were you one of the countries we liberated in World War II, or are you from one of the countries we kicked your ass because of the trouble you were causing?
Hmm.
I see all these people from England saying, "Oh, America's got too many guns. They need gun control." Well, wait a minute. We saved your asses, buddy. We sent you guns over to fight the Germans, so stuff it.
We didn't just send guns; we sent hundreds of thousands of troops.
Well, yeah. In the beginning, we sent them guns with the Lend Lease program, and we didn't get in the war. We were sending them
Yeah,
maritime support.
wasn't there a point where were like airdropping guns to residential areas, and they were like one-time use? But it's
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah. We dropped the
yeah,
Liberator 45 pistols in Europe to around France and that to people to have one shot. Well, they had a few bullets, but it was a one shot deal to at least give them something to
to fight
raise
back.
hell with, but yeah, the Liberator pistols, and now them little stamped sheet metal pistols. If you got one in the box with everything, and the little wood poker and the shells, it's about $2,500 to $3,000 collector's
Bet.
item.
Oh, I
They
bet.
cost they cost like I forget they cost like less than $1, I think, to make.
Yeah.
But yep, the Liberator. I've only seen one in all my years at the gun shows. I've seen one on display that was all original in the box that somebody brought back from Europe. There's a few out there. And Joe's right. It was made by General Motors Guide Lamp Division.
Hey, Sharon.
I think it was mainly set up so you could do assassinations. In other words, somebody could slip up on somebody.
Or maybe, maybe if they caught just a single SS,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Yeah,
didn't know they thought everybody was disarmed at that point. And then all of a sudden you pull out your little Liberator and put one in the back of their head. And,
Yep.
and it's like, all right, well, then you got his, probably what were they running? The SS. What were they running back then as their main rifle? Carbine. Is it 9mm? I can't remember. Yeah, best life. That, like I just said, yeah,
Yeah.
that was the idea behind it. You catch them off guard, shoot them, and then take their gun. Yeah.
Right.
And
And
then you
then
got
the British made a bunch of those Sten guns and dropped them all over into the underground networks and stuff too. At night, they would airdrop crates of them for the French resistance fighters.
Jeff. You seem like you're a little bit irate tonight, brother. That's all right, man. I get it, dude. I mean, when you look around, dude, there's plenty of times that I'll get up and I'll walk off the live stream and go in another room and yell and cuss and throw shit. And but at the same time, I try and keep my composure as best I can. I mean, you got to make the best. Like what they say, if life hands you lemons, then you make lemonade.
Yeah,
Although,
just add sugar.
didn't they drop the Henry in as well? Henry lever action?
No, I never heard them dropping a Henry.
I don't know.
Let's see how good let's do a little quick trivia question for the chat. White Feather in Vietnam, the most decorated sniper that we had. What rifle did he use for the majority of his sniping kills in Vietnam?
Oh,
You have to know
geez.
who White Feather is and what rifle did he use and what caliber.
Am I allowed to cheat on this?
You can cheat all you want. I don't care. But White Feather was Carlos Halfcock. We have a winner. We have a
Oh,
winner
man.
in chat.
So, Rapscallion? Or was it Neo?
No. Joe Morgan. It was a pre-64 Model 70 Winchester and 30-06.
I'll be damned. Good job, Joe.
Yep. And it was topped with a Untitled Scope. He also did mounted a scope on a 50 caliber machine gun and made a kill shot from over a mile away.
Wow.
But his actual sniping rifle was a pre-64 Model 70 Winchester bolt action 30-06. And no, Joe, the Remington and Winchester parts aren't close enough that the parts almost interchange. There's no comparison. Big difference. Sorry, but
I think Jeremy's trying to taunt you there, Moose Man.
Huh?
I think Jeremy's trying to taunt you.
Oh, Jeremy. Yeah, I know. I know.
You know what? I know you fuck always knock.
Just move the T to the move the T to the end, and it says all rust. That's what a Taurus is. All rust.
Messed up, man.
Like I said, there's good Tauruses out there, and there's bad Tauruses. I just happen to have a lot of bad Tauruses came in from Taurus, and we sent them back and told them to stuff them because we couldn't get parts. They fell apart. Our customers weren't happy. Granted, the big Raging Bulls, if parts were hard and right in them, they were a good gun for a while. I don't know how many rounds it would take to hammer them apart, but the rest of their crap, they can keep. Like I said, I won't trust my life to one. I'll stick with a Colt or a military handgun or a Ruger.
Hey, what's up, Tennessee Tactical? Good to see you, my brother. Hit a target 3 miles away. Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I think it was Carlos Hathcock. I'm not sure if Carlos Hathcock used a Starlight Scope. Those came out a little later in Vietnam for the M16 rifles, and they had some M14s that had some mounts on when they first came out. And I have the mount on my M16A1, and I have the original AN-PVS-2 Starlight Scope from Vietnam in my collection. It's a monster. Too bad we can't show and tell, but it's a monster. It's heavy. ATN makes some newer, nicer scopes now that are really top of the line. I mean, and really a lot of features if you want night vision.
And
my other night vision is a camera that sees through my scope and then puts it on a screen. So I just have to pull the rifle up and put the crosshairs looking at the screen on the target. And at night, up to 400 yards away, I can illuminate and watch on the screen and identify something and be able to shoot it. But my camera actually looks through my crosshairs.
That's pretty cool.
And those are pretty reasonable. Actually, I think I paid, I don't know, they were on sale for a couple $100, and it works really good. It's black and white at night with an infrared illuminator, and it's color during the day. Beautiful quality once you get it set up. In best life, if you get your hands on an M1A, M14 or whatever, try and find one of the government brown fiberglass stocks and handguards to put it in. Instead of wood, it's much more accurate with the fiberglass. It's stiffer, more weatherproof, and I really like my fiberglass military stock. They're harder and harder to come by nowadays, but they work a lot better than the wood stock. That Starlight Scope I've got must weigh about 5 pounds, I think. Matter
Wow.
of fact, I'll get it. I can show a scope, so they're not going to ding us. Just a minute, I'll be right back.
All right. Hang on, Joe.
Get a little light on
Yeah,
this.
let me put you on big screen here.
All right, let me get it out of the bag here.
Oh, wow. And that's called the Starlight.
This is the ANPBS2 Starlight Scope.
And that was their night vision.
That was their night vision, yeah.
Wow.
Night vision weapon sight. And like I said, it is a monster.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You
Uh-oh.
know, froze up. But anyway, yeah, you can see. Imagine this on the side of your M16. It sits just off to the side when you're shooting it, and it's it mounts. This is the mount. The other mount is on the gun itself, and it goes up there and slides on and latches in place. But yeah, it's
And
huge.
that is one hell of a beast.
But it's got to weigh. Yeah, I'm gonna say it weighs at least 5 pounds. But that's what they had back in Vietnam era days in the first generation of Starlight scopes.
I wonder how much those things run nowadays. Moose, any clue? How much?
I've seen them as cheap as $500, 500 to $1,250.
Okay.
The mounts are a little expensive for them if you can find the mounts anymore. They used to be fairly cheap, but the mounts have become more unobtainium. It seems like for some reason, but you don't see them very often anymore for sale. They're just mainly in collections.
But they work, right?
Oh yeah, they work.
I would love to have one of those FLIR setups, but I don't have 6, 7 grand to drop on one. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. Well, even the new ATNs are kind of expensive. You know, you can get some. You can get the nice rifle scopes, ATN with the night vision and all that for as low as about $700 and up to about 3,000, depending on generation and how much clarity you want. But they work. Neo, if you want to give me $15,000 for it, it's yours, and I'll throw in the mount and the rifle too.
Yeah, that sounds like one hell of a deal, huh?
Yeah, sold.
And you got hospital bills you got to pay. Shit.
I'm still working on it,
Yeah.
slowly but surely.
You never did get your test results back, have you?
Just the first blood test that shows I'm 50-50. I have a 50% chance of not having cancer and a 50% chance of having cancer. So, what's this? December, the end of this month, first of the next month or so, I'll go get the second blood test and see what the number is, and then we either jump for joy or we go sit in the corner and cry for a while.
Yeah. Oh, best life. So, night vision scope or night vision goggles? Question mark. Today, what would you get?
It
Ooh,
depends. I mean, for running around looking at stuff, night vision goggles are great. I have night
yep.
vision binoculars, but if you're going to be shooting at night, you need a good night vision scope.
Well, don't the military have it set up to where they can look through their optics with the night vision goggles they have got and land an accurate bullet trajectory projectile?
I don't, because I think they flip up their night vision goggles if they're going to use a night vision scope.
Okay. Oh, Neil, that's very kind of you. Yes,
Yeah.
prayers prayers are always welcome.
Amen. Amen. I'll take all prayers.
Aaron, you can run night vision goggles with dot optics. Okay. So like I've got a 6 hour scope, so it's just a red dot. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing that what he's saying.
I'll have to be careful with this one. I'll not get much in the camera view, but this is night vision with an
Oh, there you go.
illuminator and a screen that lights up that looks through the crosshairs.
Oh, that's the one you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, and see it mounts on the scope with the camera, so you're looking through the scope
Oh, wow.
and you can look through the crosshairs. And then if it's a dark outside, you've got a 400-meter illuminator on here that has an adjustable beam that you can do a widespread or you can narrow it down and focus it, and you can actually see deer at 400 yards through the crosshairs with them lit up with the infrared light. Now what I did was I drilled into my balance point on this fiber stock, and I made a threaded insert that attaches to a camera tripod. So I can set this up on a camera tripod on my front porch
Oh,
and
nice.
scan my yard and have a stable, basically shooting rest um, that you can work off of a camera tripod.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's actually a little heavy with all that gear up there on top of it and the batteries and all. It takes 3 rechargeable 18560 batteries, I think they are, and But I was surprised at the quality once you get it locked on the scope. I don't like I've got the early scope mount set up, which use thumb screws, and it mars the scope. Even with the tape shit they give you to wrap around your scope lens, it mars it up. Their new one has a slip over device that tightens down and clamps around without marring the scope,
Yeah.
and sets the camera back, and then you reach in and the camera has an adjustment lens on it so you can focus on your crosshairs. And then, like I said, with an adjustable scope, I can bring it up to 9 power or whatever and look right through the crosshairs and illuminate at night and watch the screen.
Now you need is one with X-ray. That way you can see the deer's heart beating.
Yeah. Well, I could see through the neighbor's wall when they're getting undressed, right? Like the old Terminator one where you could see down to the bone level.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. That was a good movie.
But that system I just showed, I think is runs $200 to $300. Of course, it's made in China, but hey, if I can have an advantage to use if they show up here at night, I don't care where it's made as long as it works. But it's a fairly reasonable price, in other words, for everything, for the package deal with everything. Come out of a place in Oregon.
Jeff, yep. And giving lemons, mix them in your drink.
My shotgun cigarette maker.
There you go. You like the simple setup. There you go. The Henry lever action, that's what you're going to get for your next purchase. I still want a 357 Henry, but
Aaron's brother just got a 357 Uberti case hard and case colored lever action rifle. He traded a service grade Garand for it at a gun store, and I would have kept the Garand myself, but he wanted a pistol caliber lever action, and it was an older one. It was new in the box, but it was 10 years old and hadn't sold, I guess, or something. And but it's a beautiful case colored receiver, and thermal vision is available to the public. Yes, you can buy thermal vision scopes, clear
for
imaging.
now,
Yeah.
For now, you can. I mean, remember that certain states were trying to pass you can't even buy body armor, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
well,
All right, so you're in New York. You're not allowed to own a gun or carry it with you, and now they're telling you can't even have body armor on. I mean, come on, man. You know that when I heard that, I was like, oh, no way, that's gonna pass.
and I heard something about California upheld the damn high capacity
Yeah,
magazine ban again.
they did. I'm sure they'll be pushing for that to go away again.
Yeah.
Those patriots out there don't give up.
Yeah. Oh, Neo, I just loaded some new 3030s, the new FTX Hornady bullets, flex tips.
Nice.
But you got to be careful if you use a tubular magazine. You normally use these, which are flat points, so they don't set off the primer of the other uh, bullet in the tube. But yeah, Hornady came out with the new FTX flex tips that are really a nice bullet and won't set off the primer.
Yeah, Bebo. Yeah, I know, right? He showed a bullet. Oh no. Hey Moose, will you hold the chat for a moment? I'll be back.
I will. I will. Yeah, Neo, we should hook up sometime, brother. I'm down here in southeast Oklahoma. Um, you can reach me at my screen name Mooseman684 at protonmail.com, and that's my secure email. Oddball, the brand of cigarette tube or cigarette maker that I use, the little manual one, is a Gize Silver Tip Boy Plus. I like this brand. They last about 6 to 7 years under normal use. They can be set for, I got mine set because I roll hundreds. They've got an adapter that drops in that you can load for just king size cigarettes too. It comes with a tamper. It comes with an extra nozzle. They're made in Germany, and like I said, they last me uh, about 7 years, 6 to 7 years. They've also got anti-slip pads if you want to put them on for using on your tabletop. And yeah, I'm not on Gab there, Neo. But oh, you're in Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's a little ways away, but yeah, I'm down here in Choctaw County, just north of Paris. If you know where Hugo is, I'm right near Lake Hugo. It's a hunting round, actually. The flex tips are supposed to be a very good. It's the same bullet they use in the Lever Evolution ammunition that Hornady makes for hunting. It's those particular ones are 160 grain, made specifically for the 30-30. And they're about $36 a hundred. Now, if I'm going to set up for long range shooting, then I'm going to break out the old 50. But I guess the new long range record that was set with one of those Shytac uh, rifles. I don't know. I think it may have been the 405 Shytac. I just read about some guy shot a couple miles, 3 miles with that. Had to walk it into the target. So That's the problem too. When you talk about you can't see 300 yards, there's not a lot of long range shooting ranges that I've found. I haven't. There's one down in Texas I have not located yet. I heard they're like 600 to 1,000 yards. Uh, but most shooting ranges only go to about 300 yards, which if you're shooting something like the 50 BMG sniper rifle, you're kind of wasting ammunition to shoot 300 yards. I mean, because that's point blank. So uh, I'm in Alaska. I had beautiful places to shoot that I could shoot thousands of yards, and we take the four wheelers and run out and set up our targets. I actually, in my backyard, I had a 600-yard range cut through the woods to the back of my property, um, where I could do 600 yards shooting for like setting up varmint rifles like my 22 250 or my 300 Winchester Magnums. But Dave K, yeah, the Raging Bull 454, that's what I'm saying. They're good guns until they get sloppy, and just Taurus is, when we got Taurus guns, it fell apart within 50 rounds, and I opened them up inside to see what happened, and the parts had not been heat treated properly, and the inside machining looked like it was chewed on by a beaver. You know you're not getting a quality weapon. And we used to joke and figure it was Jose, that this gun was either built on a Monday where he was recovering from the weekend hangover, or it was built on a Friday where he was wanting to get off work and go do his drinking for the weekend. So if you got one maybe made on a Wednesday or a Thursday, you might get some quality out of Taurus. But when it started taking me 9 months to get parts from my customers, or no parts, like I've got a friend that's looking for some 10-round magazines for one gun that they make. They only made a limited number of 40 cal magazines for this one particular rifle they made and quit making them. You can't, nobody's making aftermarket magazines. You're stuck with whatever magazines are out there, and they're only like 10 round. Nobody made a high cap magazine for this little Taurus rifle. So um, it's something you have to look at. Huh, that's strange, Joe. I've never had trouble with any of my Ruger guns. The Ruger Red Hawk, the Ruger Black Hawks, the Ruger. The one difficult one was the Ruger 22 pistol. Was a son of a gun to take apart and put back together. But other than that, we had Bearcats, and I had the Ruger 338 rifle. And that was a heavy son of a gun up in Alaska, and it kicked like a mule. And I ended up getting rid of it, and I got the Winchester Model 70 and 300 Winchester Magnum is what I hunted with up until I found the 300 H&H Pre-64 Model 70 that was built the month and year that I was born. It took me 20 years to find that rifle and that serial number block and that caliber to be able to get it. So I've got the rifle here that's my primary hunting rifle, is as old as I am.
Wow.
So still functions beautiful. It's gotten me moose, bear, deer, here. It's great. Trying to see if there's any other questions in chat. And huh. That's strange, Joe. Yeah. Rugers are very tough guns. They're the Ruger and Thompson Contender were the only two that had high pressure loads for like the 45 Colt that's in the reloading manuals because of Ruger's investment cast receivers and the strength of their cylinders were stronger. If you use that same load in a Smith & Wesson or a Tarsh, you'd blow the gun up. But the Rugers would take the higher pressure loads of them in the Thompson Contender.
What's up, Red Dawn?
101st Airborne. Yep. The Screaming Eagles. I still have my jacket that I won in competition by defeating 101st Airborne trainer, guy that trained me in combat, in hand-to-hand combat and martial arts. And I told him I wanted his jacket. He said, well, you got to beat me to get it. Well, I've carried that jacket around since 1976, from Florida to Alaska, and it's sitting in the closet here in Oklahoma. So my buddy that was in the 101st, he was a good guy, but he taught me well.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And granted, I never went through the military, but you know, I got to deal with a lot of old carpenters, and boy, they would teach you tips and tricks, and man,
Yeah.
next thing you know, your job was just so much easier.
Yeah. And I had a lot of friends in Alaska that were actually in the 82nd Airborne during World War II. They're dead now. They're gone, but they were parachuted in behind
Catch you
enemy
later,
lines in Germany, and with their little M1 carbine strapped to their legs, and those guys were tough. We had a generation of tough mofos, not like the snowflakes we got now that cry
yeah,
because they can't find their little support animal to cuddle with.
I know, Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah, Ruger has a 17 caliber like the 1022. They have the 17. They made the 17 Mach 2 on a Ruger.
Skinny jeans is gonna toughen them up.
Yeah, my fat jeans have turned into skinny jeans because I'm not getting the exercise from sitting around recovering from this surgery and trying to eat good. And I'm over 200 pounds. I got on the scale and I'm up to 208 pounds, which my normal weight is about 185, 190. So I'm starting to get that ghetto lard ass look from eating too much pie. Oh, bare metal. Eight. What was that? Eight meta eight. Eight meta eight. I can't. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I think that's
A BAR parts kit would probably make me pee my pants if it's a 1918 BAR parts kit. I would love to build one of those in semi-automatic. For those of you that don't know, I am a master gunsmith of over 40 years experience, and I build all kind of guns and weapons and design my own weapons. I can't show because of YouTube's silly ass policies, so we can't teach gun safety anymore. And we try to make the world a better place so people understand that firearms are not the enemy. They can be your best friend in times of emergency, but YouTube's policies are just off the wall because these libtards have believed that guns are bad when And there's no such thing as an assault weapon, people, because only a human can assault another human.
Mm-hmm.
The original STG-44 was not an assault weapon. It was a storm rifle. Get it through your head. Stormgewehr was storm rifle. It was an intermediate select fire cartridge weapon. They changed this definition to scare people by calling them assault rifles. There are no more assault rifles than anything else. Just like I can assault you with a baseball bat. It's still a baseball bat. It's not an assault baseball bat.
Yep. I think more and more people are waking up to that fact, though.
Yeah.
To be honest, so I mean, we're getting them. The word's getting out there. People are getting woken up. And as long as they just don't go woke.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I talked to a lot of the airborne guys up in Alaska. They were happy to find out that my dad was a famous P-51 ace fighter pilot because he flew the missions to guard the planes when they were sending these guys over to airdrop them. My dad was flying the guard missions with his squadron, the Beagle Squadron, during World War II. Besides guarding bombers, they also did the overwatch for the flights of carrying the paratroopers in. So.
Can you believe new people
You
coming?
got a Russian. Oh, he's got a Russian. You got a Russian Starlight Scope for an AR, or a Russian Moonlight, or a Russian Night Vision Scope. I actually had a set of the Russian tank goggles I sold at a gun show. I got in a trade up in Alaska.
What's up, Foamy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Had Alec Baldwin had one NRA safety course, that shooting should have never have happened. But he was all anti-gun, anti-NRA, and everything else. And yet, my guns have never shot anybody because I know how to be safe with them. So, yeah. Three gun and run courses in Oklahoma. I heard that I think there's a 3-gun course somewhere up near Oklahoma City, or possibly out from Tulsa somewhere. But I'm sure you could probably Google it and or dogpile it or something on the internet and find if there is. We don't have any down here. We don't even have any bench rest competition down here in Southeast. We have to go to Texarkana, or we run over to Ruston, Louisiana. Has a beautiful range down there when they have the shoots. And I shoot 50-yard bench rest 22 factory heavy barrel class. But they have a range that's up to, I think, it's about 600 or 800 yards at various
Nice.
berm levels set up for target shooting in Ruston, Louisiana. Them guys are great down there. We got the big shoots. They cook up food, and we just had a blast down there.
Oddball, we already blew that one out of the water.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
There's my dad's medal air. Let me get it in the camera. There's my dad's Air Medal of Honor, dated June 6th, 1944 D-Day, my dad got his Ace Air Medal of Honor, and that's
Nice. Shot down 6 of them bastards, did he?
he got 5.5 claimed, and he actually got 6.5, but one of them wasn't on his gun camera. Had run out of film. He forced a German ME or not a ME 109. Maybe it was an ME 109 into the ground uh, by riding his ass all the way, and the German flipped over, and my dad came in on top of him and forced him into the ground, but they didn't get it on gun camera. It was one of his first kills, but he ended up sharing one with his wingman. So my dad got 5.5 confirmed kills, and his wingman got the other half of one.
That's pretty good.
Yep. Not many full auto shoots like Knob Creek in Oklahoma that I'm aware of. There's one in Arizona in Dangerous's neck of the woods. They have full auto shoots there.
Yes.
I heard there's not going to be any more at Knob Creek. The owner of the range is not is getting too old, and the family's not going to do it anymore, which is a shame.
What's up with
Alaska has some big full auto shoots up there, especially on Memorial Day weekend, and they run the Birchwood Range just north of Anchorage. They put on some full auto shoots there with the Alaska Machine Gun Club. I know all those guys. I'm friends with the president of that, and one of my neighbors was a big collector of machine guns up there. So, um, yeah, it's. Oh, and there was a big machine gun shoot down in Florida. Oh gosh, what is it? Hernando County uh, Sportsman's Club down there off of Highway 19, north of Newport Richey, up there towards Weeki Wachee. They have a machine gun shoot up there once or twice a year, and they also have excuse me, cannon shoot competitions. I took
Nice.
second place in one of the cannon shoots competitions with my little 1 pound cannon. I shot it. I went up against bowling ball cannons and Civil War cannons and all. They set a car out over on the other side of a burn at 100
Cool.
yards away, and you got to go over the berm and bust that car. And once I got it dialed in, I put them 1 pound balls right through and blew holes all in that car, blew doors apart and everything else. Yeah. But yeah, Hernando had a nice machine gun shoot. They had a guy pulled in there with like an MRAP vehicle, and out the top popped a damn minigun. And
Nice.
you could buy ammunition, and he would let you shoot that minigun. When I got there a little late, and they'd run out of ammunition for sale, and I didn't get to shoot it. But for it cost you about $500 to shoot for about 5 seconds. You're done.
Yep. I still think that's the way our military should go. Anyways, we have been on for almost 2 hours, folks, and I like to keep
Well,
these right around the 2 hour mark. So I think on that note, Moose Man, I'll let you have your final say.
all right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. It's always a pleasure to come on here Saturday night with Ron and shoot the bull and go over the current events of what's going on and Second Amendment stuff. Please come back later on for Dangerous Freedom After Dark, where we do the more open shows, more panels and stuff. And
Oh yeah.
A lot of times I'm not on. I'm watching. I'll be down in chat or watching.
Yeah, it gets pretty
and
wild over on my After Dark.
it gets crazy, especially when the mushrooms come out or the alcohol comes
Oh
out.
God, yeah, don't remind me.
But anyway, but thank you everybody for showing up. Don't forget to hit that like button, share,
Yep,
subscribe.
subscribe.
Join us every Saturday
Hey,
at this time.
and really quick, I mean, you want to buy
and
some cool ass paracord jewelry? I've got all kinds of colors, and I make keychains as well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so, you know, go to my
There's the Dukes of Hazzard model. If you want the Dukes of Hazzard Confederate type model, there's one of Ron's. And but be safe out there, people. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your powder dry, and keep your faith in God strong. That's number one.
Amen. And I think on that note, I'll just say amen. And yeah, I'll be on my After Dark here in about, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, give or take. I'm gonna go grab something to eat, and yeah, I'll see y'all in a bit. Everybody,
Take care.
stay safe, stay armed.